this appears to be happening on a logical level and an emotional level. The emotional level says that everybody should get to do what they want to do in the state of California, and that's what this is all about. The logical level says that nobody is saying that gay couples can't live together. Gays and lesbians can live together, they can enjoy their lives, but all the state has said, all 52% of the people in the state have said, is that we simply don't want you reaching that legal point, which has become a legal standard for really all of time, going back to biblical times. What I can't understand is why can't you people accept this on the logical level and accept the fact that they say it's okay on the emotional level?
Well, it depends on what religious beliefs you have. There are so many different religious beliefs out there, and many of them allow for same-sex marriage. I married my husband in 2001, and that was long before it was ever legal. There's legal protection, there's a civil marriage, and then there's religious marriage. We already have religious marriage in this state and in this country. We have religious freedom. It is part of what is granted through the Constitution. So we're not asking for religious marriage. We already have that. We're asking for equal protection under the law for our families, for our children. Simple as that.
I want to comment on the religious part of it. I don't know much about much, but I do have a PhD in one area, and that's historical theology, and never in the scope of the history of Christianity or the history of Judaism, or for that matter, Islam as well, has there ever been any acceptability for the practice of homosexual or homosexual marriage at all until it's a brand new sort of epiphany, a phenomenon just in the last about 30 years.
Actually, the Christian church allows to solemnize same-sex marriages until 1217.
The second thing I want to refer to is also the fact, if I can just respond to this part, and that is that 30 states have voted on this, and in all 30 states they have voted for traditional natural marriage. The only states
and
that
every
have
few
same-sex
years we
marriage has been
continue to
forced
get
down
progress.
from it.
Every year we move further and further along the scale. Why? Because people are beginning to realize that no longer can they stand up in the face of this discrimination and say it's okay. It wasn't okay when it...
The Gallup poll this week actually showed, along with the PPIC poll, very respected, released this week, that showed the shift going back even in the state of California.
Well, I mean, it goes up and down all the time, but if you look over the long term, we're winning. I mean, fairness, equality, family, that's what's winning.
I think what's actually emerging is people are becoming aware when they see a state like Iowa, where 7 judges coerced it on an entire state, or even in New Hampshire, Northeast, where 64% of the people support traditional marriage. This coercion is setting a backlash, and the result is what Gallup released this week, is that move back the highest since the year 2005. The PPIC poll just reversed with, in California, 49% for traditional marriage.
And I would argue that the backlash is seeing the entire East Coast slowly trickle down on the side of equality. That's the backlash. You saw 30 states come down and say that discrimination was okay by a vote of the people, but those polls continue to shift in our favor, and then you see 6 states in the matter of months come to our side. That's the backlash. The backlash is 8 years of oppression through the Bush administration. The backlash is years and years and decades of watching people from our community be the victims of hate crimes. The backlash is the tens of thousands of people that serve our military being kicked out when they are highly skilled. And there is no reason to be getting rid of these people, translators that we need right now. Lieutenant Dan Choi, who was just dismissed from the military. These are people that we need, and that's the backlash.
Isn't that a different argument, what you're talking about? Pastor Garlow is not going to say he's in favor of hate crimes. Nobody is going to say they're in favor of hate crimes.
Oh, of course.
Everybody wants to see the military operated as a military, whether there's a don't ask, don't tell, or whatever. But isn't that really outside of this question?
No, I don't think so. This is who we are. It's not just a cause. It's our lives. It's our families. And why should we be able to die for our country in silence? And then at home, our loved ones are not given the same respect and dignity to come to our burials when we've died to fight for the freedoms and the protections of every other American in this country, and we can die not having equal rights for this country. That is what's unfair.
Going to be there?
I'd want to say, first of all, we just met today, and I consider Fernando a friend who I'd like to get to know better. I appreciate you as a person. And so I believe in civil discourse like we're having right now. I really think that's positive. But marriage has stood for 5,000 years, and believe it or not, it's going to stand the exact same way as one man, one woman for the next 5,000 as well.
Marriage has changed over the last 5,000 years, but let's go out for coffee sometime.
I don't like coffee, but I'll take hot chocolate.
All right.
All right, and I'm going to have you both back in a couple of months.
Great.
We'll see what the status is then. You've obviously hit it off, and you